Today, I'm Steve. I'm from the agency Works, and for the next 15 minutes, I want to show you how replacing pipeline guesswork with clear connected data can help you drive hopefully more confident decisions. So before we start, as usual, a bit of housekeeping. If you don't know me, I'm one of the co-founders here at the agency Works, and I've been working with Synergist and with agencies for well over 25 years now. And during that period, we tend to hear the same questions from the agency leaders, and it's typically around what revenue's coming in, or can we take, or what can we take on the project? Will we hit our target? So if you're running an agency this way, you're not alone. Most are. And the problem isn't lack of effort, it's that you're trying to forecast revenue, plan resources, and predict profits, and potentially you may be still using outdated spreadsheets, disparate systems, and a lot of hope. So that's where the guesswork comes in. And the guesswork creates a lot of kind of costs for the agency. And the first thing is around revenue forecasting. So you can't see what's really likely to convert or when cash will potentially arrive. From a resourcing point of view, you don't know if you've got the capacity until perhaps it's too late. And then also you find out that you've missed your margin only after you've done your month-end reporting. So if any of those feel familiar, this session will hopefully show you how Synergist helps agencies solve them every day. So during this webinar, we'll look at how the system gives you 4 things to remove that guesswork. First thing is tracking every opportunity from the first conversation right through to ongoing client work, so instantly seeing what's likely to convert, so you can forecast revenue with more confidence and avoid any last-minute surprises. We can also see that you're on track in real time, so that might be by person, by team, by client, but also spotting shortfalls early enough to take action. From a resourcing point of view, we can view hours sold versus hours available, so you know exactly where you have capacity, so you can make more informed calls on taking on new projects, bringing in freelancers, or perhaps starting that recruitment process. And then we can analyze who closes deals, which work delivers the best margins, and how long typically can a sales cycle take. So we're using these insights to focus on opportunities that will hopefully help you grow your agency more sustainably. But while that all sounds great in practice, it's much more powerful to see what this looks like in practice. And that's summed up really well by one of our clients, Daryl from Spike, who's basically said, it gives them the opportunity to look 3, 6, 9 months down the line in terms of where we need people, where projects are dropping off and things are starting up. And that's what it's really all about. It's about replacing uncertainty with clarity. Now, might be a bit weird this, but some people may have joined this webinar not knowing much about kind of who we are or what Synergist is. So just a kind of a quick explanation. It is the #1 agency management software as voted, not just by me, but as voted recently in the agency benchmark survey. It's trusted by over 500 agencies nationwide. And since 2003, we've been building a system with one goal in mind: to create a platform that's designed specifically for agencies like yours. It is highly configurable, so whether you're running a creative agency, digital marketing, PR, or any other professional service business, it can be tailored to fit the way that you work. So why do so many agencies choose Synergist? Well, you might recognize this picture. Many agencies end up juggling multiple systems, so it might be spreadsheets for budgets, maybe you have one tool for briefs, another for sales pipeline, something for resourcing, project tracking, and obviously separate invoicing software. So the result is it's often time-consuming, disconnected, and pretty much impossible to get a single accurate view of what's really going on in the business. So hopefully that's where Synergist changes the game. It brings all those processes together in one place, from the very first brief or sales opportunity right through to project delivery and invoicing. And the workflow is seamless, data connected, so you can see the whole picture in real time. So it saves you time, but more importantly, it gives you clarity, improves efficiency, and helps you make smarter, more profitable decisions. Okay, that's enough of the preamble in terms of who we are and what we're doing today. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch off my camera so you can see my screen a bit better, and I need to switch screens so I can show you the demo. So bear with me a second while I do that. Okay. Right. Okay. So hopefully now you can all see my screen. Okay. So let's start with opportunities, which in Synergist speak is basically what we call quoted jobs. And this is the beating heart of your future revenue. So in Synergist, every opportunity can be tracked from the first conversation right the way through to confirmed job. You can also set up custom columns. So the information that you see when you log in is exactly what matters to you. So whether that's estimated revenue, probability of winning, client type, or even next action. And you can also filter this view as well for new business. So new business for prospects or perhaps for clients. And you can also filter by things like sales owner or the pipeline stage too. So it lets you see instantly where deals are in the pipeline and which ones need attention. Now, with this view, I'm showing sales value, estimated hours, pipeline stage, expected close date, and I've asked it to also show me potential gross profit. Now, these values can also be weighted based on the probability, and again, you can choose what you want for your probability of winning the deal. So your forecast is pretty much realistic and then therefore not inflated. However, it's not just about forecasting potential revenue because the system also allows you to estimate the potential number of hours that you might need to deliver the project, and therefore you can then start to forecast future capacity. So that means you can check whether the right teams have availability while also predicting both the billing schedule and also when you might be able to recognize that revenue. Hopefully, when you win this opportunity, you can then instantly convert into a live job, so there's no rekeying. And if you do lose one, again, there's the ability to record a reason. So over time, you can hopefully spot trends and improve your win rates. However, Synergist doesn't just help you forecast revenue, it also allows you to track time that you're investing in each opportunity. So if you're pitching, preparing creative, or doing background research, you can log these hours straight against the opportunity. So that becomes really important because a lot of agencies often underestimate the hidden cost of pitching. So without tracking, you don't know how much time, and therefore money, you've sunk into an opportunity until it's too late. So if I was just to add that column to my list, then here you can see the columns that I've selected. Here we have available columns across lots of other different categories. But for this example, what I want to look at here is the value of work to what's been quoted. So I'm going to pull that into my column and I'm just going to put it a bit further up. So I can now see that coming through now. So I've added that onto my list. Okay, so this is now showing me the value of time I've committed so far versus what the quoted value is. So you can make a call on whether it's worth continuing. So a lot of agencies we work with will often set a threshold. So for example, you might say, do you know what, once a pitch hits 7, 8, 9, 10% of the quoted value, it could trigger a review. Basically, is it worth continuing? And it's not always just about the money. We know full well that agencies often weigh up the 3 Fs. Is this project fun? Is it the kind of work that a team will enjoy doing? Is it fame? Could this win raise the agency's profile? Or is it down to fortune? Does it have the financial returns to justify the effort? And here's the other big benefit. When you do win a client, you've got a clear record of the pre-sale effort that went into securing the account. And a lot of agencies then use this visibility to plan how they recover those upfront costs across the life of the client relationship. So also, before we jump off the screen, worth noting as well that if you are already using an external CRM tool, that could be kind of HubSpot or Salesforce, that kind of thing, then we can provide a direct link to bring across prospect data and also create things like opportunities from templates when there's something tangible to quote against. Okay, just have a quick slip of water. Okay, so that's visibility of the pipeline and its data. We can also see that in one of our many dashboards as well. So the sales dashboards gives you that information, but in a live visual overview. Now, in this example, the pipeline is presented by pipeline stage, but the pipeline stages that I have are customizable. So you can set up your own pipeline stages to match how your agency works. You also have options as well to look at this in the weighted view, which I touched on before. And again, whether it's for clients, for prospects, for both. And in my example, I've got this showing quoted value, but again, I could quickly look at this at gross or net value, or simply the number of opportunities that we have at each different stage, rating, or sales status. And again, you have an option potentially to look at this with a customized view of kind of your different market sectors too. Also, in Synergist, we have the ability to set up targets as well. And these targets can be specifically against clients, or you could set them up against salespeople or account handlers. So it makes it easy to track performance in real time. So you can see exactly who's on track, identify where extra attention is needed. And those targets can be based on different metrics. So have we got a target based on what we're turning over, what's been recognized, or is it based on net or gross profit? And then you can also decide whether you're looking at that at jobs that have just been won, i.e. promoted, or whether you're looking at your targets based on what's been invoiced. Okay. Another thing that we of interest today is this idea of hours sold that I touched on earlier. So this is kind of where you're bridging the gap between your sales team and your delivery team. So it allows you to see, A, if you have people and hours available to deliver the work before you commit. You can spot early when you'll need extra hands, and you can ensure that you're not selling more hours than you can deliver. And we can look at this as a total in a period, or I can switch this and look at it actually by resource type. So that way we can instantly see where you have capacity or where you've actually sold more hours than you actually have available. So for example, you might notice that your design team still has availability. So your question then becomes, is there anything in the pipeline worth prioritizing or closing a deal on that could maximize that spare design capacity? So this is where sales and resourcing come together. You're not just chasing revenue, you're making sure the work that you win matches the people you have to deliver it. Now that can also be visualized in another dashboard, which is our capacity dashboard, which shows things like available hours, future bookings by role, individual, but also takes into account any holidays that you've got booked, which will obviously impact on your team's capacity. So that's fine for kind of confirmed work, but we also have the ability to bring through your opportunities as well. So then you can start to model and do the kind of like what if scenario. So yes, we can see what the capacity is looking like for confirmed work, but if we bring through what's in the pipeline, what impact does that have? So if we do win this design heavy project, I can instantly see what the impact might be on my design team because I can see them down here. So you can check capacity in seconds, so you never commit to work that you can't deliver. Okay. Right, now we're going to go back a step and we're going to look at the task side of things. Okay, so before we start to create opportunities with Synergist, you're not just tracking kind of live opportunities and prospects, we're also actively managing the entire sales process from first contact to close. So here you can monitor each prospect in the journey, the next actions needed to keep momentum so that no prospect gets forgotten or left idle. And one of the options you have to manage the process is the task feature. And these can also be visualized in a Kanban format. So like the views we saw earlier on, these Kanban boards can be customizable. So you might create one that's very much specifically for the sales process. So unlike mine, where I've got columns that which say to do, on hold, working on it, done, you might have a sales dashboard which looks like suspect, prospect, discovery, decision pending, contract won, whatever it might be. Also, when you set up your prospect, you have the ability to tag them with factors like market sector, client type, source, because then reporting becomes much more powerful. So we can start to look at kind of how many proposals did we send, I don't know, to the healthcare sector last quarter, or your marketing team might want to gain better insight into where the leads came from and which converted best. We can also log communications, schedule follow-ups, set reminders, and with the email integration feature, you can automatically capture relevant email exchanges against the right opportunity or prospect, which then gives you complete communication history all in one place. So this keeps sales and marketing in sync with a full record of every prospect action and conversation. Okay, so once we've captured all of this sales pipeline activity data, we need somewhere to view it, spot trends, and manage the process. And we don't just store information for information's sake, we like to turn it into insight. So we've already seen how dashboards give you that at a glance view, but with the data analytics tool, you can go a lot further. You can start to create your own custom reports from any data in the system. And it's not just reporting for reporting's sake, it's about giving your teams the evidence to make better, faster decisions. So for example, I might want to track how the agency is performing against our gross profit targets. So here you can see, example, I've created a table which shows me what our target GP was, what we've actually done. And again, we're looking at this for a couple of months basis, 3-month basis, and then I can see it across different months and I can see where the variance is as well. So once you've built your view or built this report, then you can save it to your dashboard, which we'll look at in a second. You can share it with colleagues, or you can schedule it to run automatically on a weekly, monthly basis. So you've always got the latest numbers to hand. So no more waiting for month end. You can see live if you're hitting targets and while there's still time to make a difference. Now, as I mentioned, we can also see that on your data analytics dashboard. So this brings all of those saved custom reports that you've created together in one place. So instead of digging through menus, you can pin the most important reports for instant access, and these reports can be displayed as tables, graphs, or both. So for example, we just looked at one before, which was the agency one. What I might want to do is look at one by client. So in this case here, I've now broken that GP report, not for the whole agency as a whole, but I'm looking at a client basis. So again, I can see that visualized as a table in here. You might want to look at other reports as well. So it could be you look at things like promoted opportunities, or again, whatever you want to look at, sales pipeline potentially, and you can order them where you want them to. So they come through as a table or as a graph, or a bit of both. So the beauty of this setup is that it keeps insights front and center, so you're not hunting for information. It's in the format that makes most sense to you whenever you need it most as well. Another nice report as well, we've got the kind of opportunity conversion rates. So if you want to look at something that's not just financial, but perhaps more as a percentage, then in this example here, I could ask the system, how many opportunities have we created in the period? Out of those, how many we've won? What's that as a percentage? And likewise for lost as well. So all the key metrics that you need can be presented to you. So this ends up being, can be kind of your board report, it can be your performance tracker, your kind of health check, but it's all in one screen, all pinned and very kind of customizable and accessible by you. Okay, so coming towards the end now, in the 15 minutes, we've gone from managing sales, prospect process, seeing individual opportunities, through live sales and capacity dashboards to real-time performance analytics. So you can see the value, capacity impact, and ROI of every opportunity. You can align sales targets with actual delivery capacity, track performance by client, team, agency, but you're basically making it faster and easier to make better informed decisions. Okay, so that kind of brings us to the end of our very quick snapshot view of managing pipeline in Synergist. If you do have any questions or you want to look at this in a bit more detail and how it might work for your business, then do let us know. Feel free to reach out or via LinkedIn or connect with us. And if you're interested in any of the upcoming webinars or resources that we have, then do visit our YouTube channel or our website for more insights. But Thanks again once again for joining today. Hope you have a good rest of the day and look forward to speaking to you on the next session.